welcome. We are here to play Heaven is Here If You Want It by Ray Najati, a belonging outside belonging game. And I am very glad to welcome these wonderful players to my table to play this game because it's been a while since I've facilitated belonging outside belonging games. I have another table of Heaven is Here, but again, every practice is great in my book. So I'm Mads, they them pronouns, and again, I'm interested in trying to facilitate belonging outside belonging games, trying to actually write a game of my own, and again, just want to get back into the swing of things and definitely enjoy this game for the vibes as well as some of the playbooks and themes that it explores. So it is, well, we'll get into that in a little bit, but let's get introduced to our players. So I'm going to go from left to right on my screen, and let's start with Sabine.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Sabine. I use they pronouns, and I've seen this a while ago, the game, and I was like, how do you play this again? And now I get to, so I'm very excited about this.
All right. Denna.
Yeah, hi. My name is Donogh. My pronouns are him. Yeah, I mean, I've played a bunch, too many to list, belonging outside belonging games, so it's always fun to try something a little bit different. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And as always, Riz games are amazing.
Absolutely. And Shane.
Yeah, I'm Shane. I use they, them pronouns. I was really excited that you suggested this because earlier this month I was playing Dance Fever by Small Stories Games, which is another uh, indie story game inspired by the album Dance Fever by Florence and the Machine. So it just seemed perfect to make a pair of them.
All right, awesome. Thank you all so much. So I'm going to go through a round of cats, concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. This is a lot of text from the game itself, so hopefully I'm pulling from, again, like Ray's words and, like trying to capture like what kind of vibe we're going for, besides like, of course the soundtrack of of Florence and Machine, but also again like pulling straight from Ray's text. Um, so concept. This is a game about the expression, journey, and relationship with art and gender. It explores how being human means expressing something essential and true about ourselves. And it creates moments where we express that humanity. We are magically mundane and mundanely magical, and that it isn't too concerned with plot, but it does ask you to be present in the moment. It is a game of relationships and entanglements. Your characters should be vulnerable, hurt each other, make amends, forgive now or later or never, but also care for each other in one way or another. Our aim is to express our character in ways that feel true and interesting, play out moments in ways that feel genuine and exciting. The characters and stories can get a little wild, a little messy. Mechanically, the moves guide you to express the themes of the character and the moment you choose to play. Use them as often or as little as you like. They come alive as you interpret them and connect them to the story being told so far. The tone. This is a game that is evocative and asks you to play around with metaphors. Um, my little note here is that some humor can be welcome, but I prefer to return to the sense of quiet solemnity and urban fantasy fable that this game seems to call upon. Subject matter. This is a game that is as magical and mundane as you want it to be. Like gender, like art, the game exists in a spectrum between the two. Move back and forth as you like. Right? I did include a playing reference in the character keeper that we have here, as well as the lines and veils tab, which contains our safety. So we have lines, which of course are things that we will not be including in our game whatsoever, um, uh, not role played out again, and not included in our game. And then things that are veiled are things that we will not role play out fully or fade to black on, or could be mentioned and touched upon, like as maybe part of a backstory or flashback, but again, like just veiled. Um, And then there is an ask first column. So again, if we start getting into these topics or start to approach them, it's like, we can go meta and like, come out of the game itself and then just kind of tread carefully and then just literally ask first. It's like, is this okay if I mention whatever that is? And then we also have a romance matrix. So it's like, are we giving permission to have romance with PCs, romance with NPCs if we create any? This is a GM-less game. So there is nobody actually like running the thing. I mean, like I'm facilitating, which means I am also a player, but like I'm just kind of like guiding through as we go. Um, but we are all playing this game. So are we like able to romance PCs? Are we able to romance non-player characters? And it's like it seems like we are all a resounding yes. Yay! And then I placed for notes if there's any notes. There are other safety tools that we have available to us, are of course Xcard. So anything that seems definitely objectionable in an unfun way, or if there's any real bad tonal shift, we can totally stop play by using the X card by either saying X card, excuse me, X in the chat, or like saying X out loud or making an X in the video, and we'll stop play, find out what needs to be X carded, and then take that out, like clarify what needs to be taken out, and then resume play from there. We will never ask why something needs to be X carded. Okay. And then there's also script change, which includes words such as pause, which acts kind of like an X card, but I mean, it's more of a pause. It's like, let's stop, find out what we need to talk about, and then resume when we all feel comfortable as a table from that point, from that particular point. Rewind. If, oh no, I didn't really like that moment, like, how that played out. Can we rewind back to, just before that, or like, to a further point back, like can go in a different direction. So we have rewind. And then we also have fast forward. So if something needs a time jump and we don't need to fully role play something out, we can totally fast forward through it. Okay. So we have that part as part of script change. All right. So those are our safety tools that we have available to us. Any questions regarding safety or cats? Okay. And again, I have a playing reference tab, which has, again, more text from the game about things to remember. And one of the things that I really love is that this is a living game, and it's means future versions of the game will be a response to how it plays and how it is played by others. Because of this, I hesitate to tell you exactly how to play the game in its current state. And then Ray lists a bunch of things to remember about it, which is absolutely lovely. And then we have our playbooks. So we're going to go through a bit of character creation and completion right now to kind of pick out the playbooks that we're going to, embody. And then we're going to introduce our characters and then see about playing out moments, which are situations and scenes in Belonging Outside Belonging with their own particular moves and vibes, basically. All right. So I know some people had put into our Discord chat of like, things that they were thinking about. But as facilitator, I pick last, so I'm perfectly happy to go with what everybody else is vibing with this morning. So, what are people thinking, Sabine?
I was thinking maybe the dancer or maybe the devil.
Okay. Donogh.
I think the Oracle was first on my list, and then maybe the King or the Devil at a stretch.
Okay. And Shane.
The king is my first choice.
Okay. All right. So sounds like everybody gets their first choice. So that sounds awesome. All right. So then I guess I'll be the devil, which is great. All right. So let's go ahead and go into the playbooks. The making a character is in my playing reference. So you choose a playbook. I'm going to read off while everybody else like starts to work on their stuff. I'm going to just like read off the different playbooks, like what they are. The king is a discarded child of the gods. They bear a crown and a sword that they wield with violence. The dancer is a haunted artist of frenzy. Their song and dance moves them and others to lose control. The oracle is a domesticated god, bound to their torture and fate that invites horror. And the devil, a fallen angel, their interchangeable persona and truth, is a tool of malicious revelation. Each player will make the following choices. But remember, there is no need to get attached to any of these choices. Your character is ephemeral. All of this will change and be changed, will shine differently in shifting contexts, will be discarded and given away freely as they receive and take. So you will choose your name. These are pick lists, by the way. Your name, an aspect that inspires how others refer to you. Your look. Choose 1 to 3 that describes how others perceive you. Your gender. Choose how you express yourself. Your art. Choose another way you express yourself. And your unique aspects, which is different for each playbook. All right? And then after we choose these things, then we're going to go ahead and introduce the characters. And each playbook can name themselves, like, so you can like also have your own name, like name, but of course that's always should be the last thing because you always have to try to figure out like everything else. So let's go ahead and get that done. And then after we finish all the choices, then we're gonna go through each of the bond questions.
I'm predictably just completely desperate to think of a name.
I changed mine 3 times now, so.
I'm debating whether I want to reuse the one that I had before, or if I want to.
I'm sorry. My earpiece was not in my ear properly. Can you repeat that, please?
I'm debating whether I want to use the one that I had before, or if I want to change it yet again. So, and make sure that you look all the way down the pick lists. It's like, because the pick lists are long. So, make sure that you looked at all the choices. Everybody go ahead and put an OK in the Zoom chat when you're relatively done with your choices or your name. Okay. All right. So, given that, let's go ahead and I'll actually start since I'm facilitating, and then we'll go back round to the start of the character keeper. I'll read off my blurb and then I will go down the list of things, and then once we go through everybody's stuff, then we'll start at the beginning, and then we'll ask each other a bond question and then go round and ask the other bond question. Okay, so I'll start with the devil. I am a fallen angel, passionate and yearning, searching for both meaning and source to the art that creates an identity both false and true. My art is challenging and devastating. It will be revered when I'm dead and gone. It is built on the false self, forced upon me by others. My heart is bitter and full of vengeance. Play the devil if you want to create your art through confrontation and malice, if you want to crawl and tear your way back to heaven. So, my character's name is Lucifyre, Lucy, to friends. She, her pronouns. My name my name is given by my nemesis, lovingly. My look is a series of geometric tattoos, makeup applied to turn my face into a weapon, and mismatched eyes that no longer dilate properly. My gender is flickering candlelight, a song fragment, and shifting colors. I've mastered music that evokes unspeakable emotion. I struggle with an evolving performance that feeds on heartbreak, but I can no longer connect to art that rages rebellion and reveals the prisons that hold us. My persona is an unforgiving habit that guarantees me success, but my truth is the emptiest version of me. That is the devil. Let's come round to the king.
Yes, so I am Odin the king. I am the discarded child of the gods, passionate and yearning, searching for both meaning and source to the art that creates an identity both false and true. My art is bloody and unforgiving. It is glorious and built on lies. My heart is sorrow and full of the past selves I've discarded. You should play the king if you want to create your art through violence and demand, if you will craft a crown from the hearts you break along the way. So I have chosen a name that hints at more power than I actually hold. Odin themed. Well, I did consider just calling myself God, but I thought I would back down a little from there and just go with Odin. Um, my look is lipstick stains on teeth too sharp. Something beautiful I wear to remind me of the life I left behind. I think that is a uh, still quite beautiful, but much more ragged than it once was. Fine fur coat, maybe chinchilla even. And long hair braided with charms and gifts my exes gave me. My gender is royal colors in the night sky and cracked gold and rotted silver. I have mastered art that denies collaboration and demands worship. I struggle with dance that incites the unthinkable, and I can no longer connect to art that is traditional and aches to grow. But I have a crown and a sword. My crown is my rabid fans who call themselves many names, and my sword is whispers and secrets lovingly collected. And that's me.
What about the dancer?
I'm playing the dancer. For now, she uses she, her pronouns, and her name is Lycaenid. The dancer, I love and dance in the face of uncertainty and pain, frenzied and haunted, searching for both meaning and source to the art that expresses peace, both false and true. My art is kinetic and hopeful, is rhythmic and built on desperation. My heart is free, but beholden to the unnamed fears that stalk me. Play the dancer if you want to create your art through denial and movement. If you will run and run, not ever knowing where you are headed. Yeah, my name is a name that contains lasting calm that I can never have. My look is soothing colors I wear in an attempt to disconnect me from the world. A tattoo of lyrics from a song I don't recognize, and something that betrays how I struggle to pay my bills. My gender is a dramatic beat and flourish, and something joyful that hides a frenzied truth. I have mastered the art of dance that requires many bodies. I'm struggling with free-form poetry created in the moment, and I can no longer connect to art that is young and unformed. My song is a dream that demands my all, and my dance is a present of my own making.
And finally, the
Uh,
oracle.
yeah. I'm a god, domesticated and condemned to flashes of brutal prophecy, apathetic and lonely, searching for both meaning and source to the art that expresses a future both false and true. My art is threatening and dark. It is echoing and built on loss. My heart bears every scar left by those who could not face their fear of me. Play the Oracle if you want to create your art through magic and terror, if you wish to feed the resentment from being tamed and made small. My name is from the future that can never come to pass, so I've named them Saoirse. Um, my look is a tattoo of words from a dead language, a carefully crafted smile to hide my disgust and malice, and hands weathered by housework. My gender is a forbidden prayer whispered before a kiss, warm blood through my fingers, and a map marked and torn. I've mastered paintings that are both worship and blasphemy. I struggle with art that is slightly old fashioned and maybe out of touch, and I can no longer connect to plays that seek to rebuild the human condition. My torture is those I love will never love me in return, and my fate is those I inspire will reach greater heights than me.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
totally a
lot.
good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. Oh my gosh. Okay, so wow, given all that, because that's a lot. Uh, yeah, might need to mull over these things. But anyway, um, going back to the king. So, going to the bottom of your playbook, you're gonna see bonds. So, we're gonna ask each other one bond question. Yeah, you pick, and then we're gonna come round and then ask the second bond question once we all go take one round. Okay, so Odin,
Hmm.
who would you ask the first question of? And it doesn't have to be the first question. It could be like either question, and you just pick who you want to ask it of.
Sure. Well, I really struggle with the first question because it says, "Why do you worship me?" Which obviously makes total sense. Then it says, "Why don't I deserve it?" I think Odin really rejects the premise of this question. But I
But I
think,
mean, like maybe it's from the point of view of the other person.
sure, yes, I appreciate that. I think I think I might ask that one to Sabine. Sorry, I don't have everyone's. Oh, everyone's got their character names on the screen. I could have just looked at that.
Fine. Why do I worship you and why don't you deserve it? I think I worship you for um I worship you actually for the struggle that you have with the dance that incites the unthinkable. That is
Hmm,
and that is so interesting, and I don't think you don't deserve it because you're struggling with it, which I don't see. Does that make sense?
sure. Um,
Sorry. My turn now, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it says, I will deal with this one. You insist I should medicate myself. Why won't I? And I will ask this to the Oracle, Saoirse.
I I think you're so obviously free and indulging in that freedom, and that is torturous to me at least. Um, so I wish you could rein that in a little bit.
And why won't I? Do you get to answer this? Yes.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Does it make more sense for you to react to my insisting?
I think it's good for you to feel that hurt, actually, because that will fuel your art, won't it?
Oh yeah. So you go overboard whenever I'm around because you think that's good for me?
Yeah. I mean, you've basically told me so, right?
Okay, perfect.
Did they predict it? Oh God.
Let me look at my questions.
Yeah.
Um, it's very tempting to ask you, Mads, because then we'll go with one on. But
Right,
maybe
right,
I need to,
right, right,
or
right.
maybe I need to
And
break the pattern.
it does. I mean, it like and it doesn't have to be the first question. It could be like the
Yeah,
second question, whatever. Whichever question you want to
Mhm.
ask of whomever you want, because
yeah,
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 it's not
yeah.
equal, right? So,
Let's go with second question. Why is our love doomed for
mm,
Lucy?
yeah. Let's see.
Was that for me? I'm sorry.
Oh no, sorry,
Okay.
for Mads, for the devil.
Yeah, unfortunately, our names I think are like pretty similar, similar sounding. Funnily enough, I think it's because of what we read in each other. It starts with the surface. You saw on my tattoos the pattern, the pattern of the prisons that bound us, and I think it scared you. And then I saw in your tattoos of the dead language, I knew what that language said because I was there. I was there when it was created. But I won't tell you what it means. And so therefore we don't communicate. But I think we still say love. But maybe we're still trying to figure out what that word means between the two of us. Okay, back round to the king. Oh, me. Oh, never mind. I'm avoiding my questions. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right, hold on. Oh, boy. Huh. Hmm. Let's see. Odin, I've hurt you again and again. Why do you love me for it?
Well, maybe it's because most people, Odin has these rabid fans. He has this crown. Uh, nobody else really, nobody else really challenges him. Nobody else really, causes him any pain. And he doesn't, I mean, he both likes and dislikes this because he really believes that pain is the source of art and that his art is becoming superficial because there's no real pain underlying it. And so, yes, he loves that Lucy can and will actually cause him pain. He, yeah, started to really revel in it.
Okay, now back round to the king.
All right. So I think this is probably, well, I mean, I'm tempted to ask this one directly back to Lucy because I think they would make a nice pair, but I'm going to go to Saoirse instead to make it more messy. Why can't we name what our love is?
I wonder if we have some kind of family connection
Mm.
that is dangerous because of the kind of power dynamic or the leverage that might give others. I think maybe this is mostly Odin, right? No one could have any kind of influence over him, right?
I don't know.
I mean, sorry, he couldn't admit that someone would have influence over him, right?
I
Does
think
that
that's
make more
probably
sense?
right. Yes.
So maybe that's the answer, right? Uh, that to name it would be to acknowledge the power.
So what's the nature of the power that you have?
I don't know. Am I like an older sister or something like that? Maybe I should have inherited this throne.
All right. Just gonna make a note. Delusional. Yeah.
I mean, it's built on lies, right? Your art. So, I mean, why not your kingdom too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the dancer.
Yeah. My second question is, why do we dance around our love? And I would like to, um, to ask that to Lucy.
Because. Why do we dance around our love? Because I can no longer connect to the art that revealed the prisons that bind us. But your dance is about your own prison. But my music is about bringing on the unspeakable emotion and you are responding to that. So it's a constant pull, push, pull, push, and we can never do anything but dance around it. I I give you the beat and the melody and the rhythm of the thing that gets you to move. And I will move with you, but not, well, we're not together.
Mm.
So we constantly dance around it and around this thing that we call love.
I feel like this might be too obvious if I address it to Odin, so maybe I'll address it to Lycaenid instead. Um, you knew me when I was glorious and fearsome. Why don't you pity me now?
Because I think change is what makes art. Change is what drives art. Yes, you were glorious, but you're not that glorious anymore. But that is not bad. That might fuel your art, right? And that's why I don't pity you. You have had to change. There is pain in that change, but that is a driver of art, not something that will stifle you, unless you let it. Then I might pity you if you let it stifle you. But I don't see that you do.
I don't know who to ask this of because you've all involved me in your questions somehow. So it's like, oh. Ooh. Um, hmm.
That makes it a free choice, right? It
Yeah,
could
it
be anyone.
does. It could be anyone. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny. um, Saoirse, how do you prevent me from my worst self?
I mean, I think maybe there is something something in the kind of mundane and everyday that I involve you in that helps you to kind of forget um, your bitterness. Maybe we find some kind of common ground in that. I don't know what that is, what that activity is, but yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to play to find out. Maybe we'll discover it along the way. And that's part of the play, for sure. All right, cool. All right, so we're going to take a break right now, now that we've completed our bond questions. And then when we come back, we're just going to go over some of the mechanics of playing the game, and then we will indulge in the first moment, which is the shared meal. Okay? So let's take 15 minutes since it's early morning for me and I forgot to get coffee. So enjoy the 15 minutes. All right, see you then. Okay, and we're back. So, belonging outside belonging games again are GMless, so we're all responsible for taking on the responsibility of, um, you know, uh, kind of helping guide each other. But as facilitator, it's like I'm gonna try to help guide a little bit more. Again, a little bit out of practice, so thank you very much again for your patience. The playing reference, like, has some of the stuff from the game, and making moves. Moves are a very important part of this game because it is essential to the token currency that we will be using for this style. Um, so we have what's known as human moves, basically where our character expresses themselves in a very vulnerable way. And when you activate this kind of move, you gain a token. All right. You lean into the vulnerability, you take a deep breath and move through it. Um, and I'll explain what the tokens are for in a minute. And you have playbook moves specifically, and then when we get into the moments, the scenes, they have specific moment moves as well, and they express the core themes of the character or the movement, or the moment, excuse me, and you can make these moves at any time. If you're stuck on what to do, make a playbook or a moment move and feel things out. The reason we collect tokens, or like you try to collect tokens when you can, is because you spend 2 of them to make an art move, and art moves are very powerful. Powerful moments for your character, you need to spend 2 tokens. I meant to put that in there. It's in there. 2 tokens to activate them. Okay. Take some room, step into the spotlight, put on a short show. Essentially, the art moves are very much, you know, big swings and like almost a spectacle, basically. Moves don't limit what you can do. You can use them as often or as little as you like. They guide you to express the themes of the character and the moment you choose to play, and they come alive as you interpret them and connect them to the story being told so far. But you are not limited to doing them, right? I mean, like, we can still have scenes as normal, we can still role play the characters as we see fit, but the moves themselves, I mean, you gain a token, spend tokens, or just do the playbook slash moment moves just to, again, express themes. So, and again, each moment has a way to pick it up to begin, and then there's also playing out, and then to end the moments themselves. So, just before we get into, actually, like, I'll just explain that now, because I mean, like, when we get into each of the moments, it's like, they all share the same way of starting, playing out, and then ending. So to begin a moment, as a group, you make choices for how you're asked to describe it, and this will help set the scene and provide context. To play out the moment, play out the characters as you like. When you feel like you're making a move, you can choose one from your playbook or one from the moment. Spend or gain tokens as you need to as part of the move, and anyone can activate the moment's lure. Lures are things that, in the playbooks and the moments, they are things that when someone does something, they can gain a token on you, or from that moment, because they've done that thing to lure you in, to appeal to your playbook or to the moment itself. Okay, so those are things to gain tokens as well as doing human moves. All right, there's a specific lures tab in there, so it has all of the moments lures as well as all of the playbook lures. So which is an easy reference to do so. Okay. And then when we're ready to, and moments can have supporting characters slash non-player characters that any one of us that maybe not in the scene can enact. So I mean, like, anytime that's something we want to create, there's also stuff in the moment to create a visitor. So there's questions to answer to do so, and then you would just show. Yeah, there's like questions to kind of work through bonds. If a visitor is created and you think it'd be cool to have them in the moment, ask a specific player to role play that supporting character. Yeah. And then when you're ready to end the moment, it'll feel much the same way a scene ends in a TV show or movie. And then check in with the other players if this is a good time to fade to black. And then when the moment ends, everyone makes a choice from the moment, excuse me, and then there'd be some choices to make from a list. Okay, you'd pick one of those to do. Okay, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll give this a shot. We'll see how this goes. Okay, and we would be moving through the moment slash metagame. I mean, like, it's perfectly fine to kind of come out of it and, again, do check in for safety, check in for, is this okay if we're approaching this particular topic, if we're adding a visitor, if we're, hey, I mean, like, I'd like to do this. Is this all right? So, perfectly fine to come in and out of stuff. All right. So, if we're ready, I'm going to go ahead and read the blurb on shared meal. We gather at the table, and it is here that we are most like family, where the ritual of giving and receiving feels divine and true. It is during this meal that we set aside the gods and ghosts that worship and haunt us, where we are most human. It is here that our art finds anchor. Begin the meal if you want to feast upon art, connection, and ground your creativity in the now. So, and the lure for here, for the shared meal, is when someone offers food from their plate, fleeting or no, they gain a token. All right? So we can describe where the meal takes place. And since there's four choices, there's four drop downs from the pick list. It's like we can each pick one of those, but let's describe where the meal takes place.
Can I ask a question before we do this?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen this, if you do a movement, fleeting or no, what is that, a mechanical thing, or is this just a vibe? Fleeting moment.
Yeah, I mean, like if it's like, if somebody, like, offers food from their plate, I mean, like, whether it's like a quick, like, would you like something, or like, actually like gives you food from their plate, right? So I mean, it doesn't have to be like, a full on gesture or like actual action. That would be, I think that's what we're talking about. But again, it's all interpretation, right? So you could gain a token. I mean, I'm not policing this stuff. So I mean, if you feel that you've gained a token, you've gained a token. So oh, and then, like, just as a mechanical thing, I mean, like, the token counter is in your upper right hand corner of your playbook, just so you know where to count them. So, all right. Any other questions? Okay. So, describe where the meal takes place. The choices are in the tiny apartment I just moved into, in a motel room in the middle of a long road trip, in my parents' old home after I found out about the affair, on the roof of the dead mall, in the alley behind the restaurant I was just fired from, somewhere comforting, somewhere full of love. What do we think?
I like the parents' old home after I found out about the affair. Might be
Wait, does that
interesting.
apply to my parents as well?
I
Do
mean, it
I
could
also
be
know about the affair?
could be anybody's parents so far. I mean, it could be yours and Saoirse's parents, or it
That
could
could,
be somebody else's parents, or it could be some random parents we kind of think that are our parents in an artistic way, like mentor parents things.
true. Very true. I mean, like, whomever's parent it is, I could say that with air quotes. I mean, you can interpret that any way you like. So,
It doesn't have to be their affair. It can be someone else's affair.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I think it's implied that it's the parents, right?
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. They had to move out, you know? They had to sell it, or whatever, and then, like, whatever the explanation be, whatever the explanation be. So, who'd like to come up with the explanation? I've already come up with 3 different explanations right now, but I mean, like, if somebody else has something, then by all means.
I think they couldn't stand it anymore. That place, right?
Yeah.
After the affair, it was just like things. It was such a nice place, but it was kind of tainted now. Everything, you're one of them was cheated on, I presume, and for them, it's like every place they wondered, did it happen here? What happened here? Did the other person touch this?
Lycaenid, it sounds like, this is bitter for you, so maybe it's your
Okay.
parent?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. I'm fine.
Okay.
If everybody's fine with that, yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Did you invite us for dinner before or after you found out about the affair?
I think before I,
Yeah.
of course, it just happened. Like maybe I invited you 2 weeks out because I really wanted to have this grand thing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty sure my parents would be there, and they are not.
No. No, they are not.
for reasons that
Reason.
I well,
Well, yeah, I mean, because you found out about the affair, but we don't probably know.
yeah, no, I just found out about the whole thing, and that's like okay, they're so hung up on that stuff,
Yeah. Okay. So
right?
let's go ahead and we each pick one of those describe the meal things. So I mean, like I'm obviously got the last spot, so I'll pick what we choose to offer, right? So I mean, like maybe you say, oh no, like either bring something or you think you're providing something, but we bring something anyway. I don't know, whatever we consider okay to do. So, but yeah, go ahead and pick something accordingly.
Nobody put harm to animals as a line or veil, but feel free to X card this if anyone doesn't care for it. But I think I brought live lobsters, which I stole for the occasion.
Oh, okay. Love that for you.
Well, I love it for us all. It'll be delicious.
Yeah, but I mean, like, like you bringing them though. That's the thing. I'm just like, I like Lucy's half in admiration and also in like, huh?
I mean, we can always at least keep one of them in the bathtub, just as a pet.
Hmm. Um, I picked a recipe passed down the generations. I think
Mm.
it is some kind of phyllo pastry construction
Ooh.
Mm.
that almost feels like something that is almost feels shameful to eat because you're destroying the work of art as you consume it.
Mm.
Uh, maybe it's something Odin recognizes.
Ooh.
Maybe it's an old family recipe of ours.
Yeah, I
Mm.
guess so.
Or actually, if we want to make it really affect Lycaenid, this is a recipe that I learned from her
Mm.
parents or grandparents.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Mm. Oh, yeah, yeah. My parents would have loved this if
Oh
they
no.
were still around.
Lycaenid, you can pick one. You can pick that
Uh,
last thing.
oh, are they four? Oh, there are four.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me check what we have. Expressive. Yeah, I think it's something that took me days to make. Yeah, well, I thought this would be a nice occasion and I wanted something that was really artful. So I think this is actually it's a cake, like a wedding, like some kind of looks like a wedding cake, basically, but it's not. It's just an art cake that
No.
celebrates, I think that celebrates Odin most of all, because I adore Odin and yeah, so. So Odin, what is it that I put on there that will tell you that yeah, I make this for you mainly?
I don't know. I mean, I don't deserve it, whatever it is. Is it like crown shaped?
Yeah, maybe. Oh yeah,
Oh, that
it's
would
these
take days to
pokey
make.
has these pokey bits. Yes,
Shit.
yep. And that's not my primary art form, making cakes.
And of course, Lucy brings uh, expensive alcohol, but forgets to well, no, actually doesn't forget. I mean, realizes that you would obviously have glassware and shit like that, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
says it's like, we should no. That's like so usual. Like, why? Why use the regular glasses? Here. And then, like, hands you a sleeve of paper cups. We're gonna drink out of these.
Okay, that's okay. That's
We're having
unusual for
cake.
the. It's
We're
unusual
having
for the.
cake.
It's unusual for the occasional award. Okay.
We're having cake.
Yes, we are.
Well, lobster and cake.
Yep,
Absolutely.
as
So,
you do.
as you do.
Lobster and
Toast.
cake and alcohol and paper cups.
Yep. But I think I'm going to ask you, Lycaenid, how do I hurt you without meaning to?
It's like a free gift, that question. Everyone gets a token for just unintentionally hurting Lycaenid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How do you hurt me without meaning to? That's unusual for you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's with the paper cups because I polished the really nice crystal glasses that my parents had, and some of them are shattered because of the fight, and I cleaned that up, and there are four left. There are four left, and now you come with the paper cups, and I can't even say no. That's bullshit because then I'd seem hidebound and conservative, and I don't want that. Eh,
And I just give you that look like, it's like, you really want to use these crystal glasses? Really? Why? And then it's
mm,
like, yeah, you don't tell me.
no, I don't.
But you don't tell us about the affair yet, right? You're
No, I
just
haven't told you about the affair yet. I'm just everything is hunky dory, isn't it? I don't know. I will tell you. I'm just debating about myself when to drop this,
got it.
right?
Got
Because
it.
it shouldn't like you don't want it to be like, yeah, ha, funny. It needs to have more. It needs to have the emotional weight that it actually does, at least for like Lycaenid. Lycaenid.
Yeah, I think for the occasion, like Lucy's wearing a jacket that's like kind of got that kind of like that iridescence to it, and just kind of like shifts in different light, so it goes from like
Mm.
purple to pink to green to um, black, and then like back to purple again, and just shifts depending on what light it's in, and then all black underneath with combat boots, and the
Oh,
makeup that she has on her face is like slashes that look like lightning bolts.
cool. I think Lycaenid is looking a little harried, actually, because of the whole preparation thing and then the cleaning up thing and then the parents breaking up. So they are basically wearing their jean jacket that they have with a lot of pins and stuff like that, political pins and other artsy pins. Their hair is a little messy. They have one butterfly thingy. There is a word for it, but I don't know the English name. One butterfly thingy in their hair, but not as many as they thought they would have. So yeah, butterfly clips exactly.
And to answer the question in the chat, yes, these are the conical paper cups that you cannot put down because they have the point at the bottom.
Oh no.
I mean, recyclable, of course.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
being
that's so
somewhat sustainable, yeah,
important.
for
That's
sure.
so important.
Yeah,
Good. Thank you for thinking of the environment, Lucy.
gotta do a little something. I don't do otherwise.
Yeah.
And that feels too much like looking into the future for me right now. So I'm gonna help tidy up.
Do we see any remnants of the mess? I'm just curious.
Oh, I don't know. What do you think? Is there maybe everything is cleared off the floor, like the broken glass, but maybe there's a sign that something impacted a wall,
Mmm.
was thrown against it?
Must have been a hell of a fight. Holy shit.
I mean, yeah, they're emotional parents.
Oh
The
yeah.
child, Lycaenid has actually, I think she has a pretty good relationship with them, which is unusual, a little unusual. So the parents must have been a little unusual themselves, right?
If Odin notices that Saoirse is cleaning up, obvious signs of a huge fight, he will, try and make eye contact with Saoirse, like, gesture with his eyes towards Lycaenid. So am I saying that right? Rightish?
I've asked how to pronounce the word Lycaenid, I think it is.
Lycaenid.
That's what the internet says.
Okay.
You can't ask me about how to pronounce English words, Shane. You can't.
Sounds more
I don't know that's
for Latin or Greek.
But yeah, I'm making some meaningful eye contact with Saoirse.
I mean, they are trying to distract themselves with the menial task, right? But I think you know how to catch their eye, and I'll look over at you, and I think, like, the lip curl, right? You get a look of disgust, probably at you, you know. What?
Oh, okay. Not getting much from my sister. So I think in that case, I'm just gonna ask Lycaenid directly. Uh, like gesture at this mark on the wall and say, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?"
I think I will fall into awkward silence to avoid the truth and offer you a piece of cake. Which I think is also real.
It
As
is.
is
Yes.
traditional,
Good
we
job.
start with
Yes.
dessert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, yeah. We drink from paper cups. We can totally start with cake.
Toast to that.
Yeah. So you get a token from that.
No,
Odin.
you get a token.
Do I get a token?
When you hit my
Lewis will
wood,
always confuse me a little. When
When
someone offers free, oh wow, I
yeah,
gained so many tokens.
you do. Yes, you did because you did it. You did it in one go.
Yeah.
Like you did. I
Whoa.
love that. I love that. I
I'm
applaud
a
it.
BOB power gamer.
You are a power gamer. God damn. I can't do that.
well,
I love it.
Odin will just be annoyed then and just like very abruptly say, "Oh, I've always loved these conversations, Lycaenid."
And then I will go and cut more cake. And I will give you a hurt look because I
Oh,
like, yeah. And maybe I'll say I'm not much of a conversation, person. I'll I'll
well,
I'll run away from you now because A, I get a token for that, and B, this is not a conversation I want to have. I run towards Lucy and say, look, I think we can put these paper cups inside another cup so they won't spill. And also that would be, or maybe I have an idea. I'll get one of these glassy flutes that you put sparkling wine in. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And we can put them into that, and that would look interesting. And then we
And
can.
I think Lucy was like starting to look like very blank, like just to try to like stay beyond it. But then like when you like run to them, they actually see something in your face from like Odin's confrontation and will reach out to you and say, "Yeah, that's a good idea. But Lie, are you okay? This is me.
Oh,
This is me talking. Tell
yeah.
me. Talk to
I
me."
hmm, I planned this, and I thought it might be like a meal shared, like a dance between the four of us, with everything being just like so. That's why I made this cake, and now, well, um, it's not everything is perfect as I wanted it to be because my stupid parent cheated on my equally stupid mom with, I don't know, some floozy or whatever. I couldn't really make head or tails about what happened. They had this huge fight.
Shit.
Yeah.
and I mean, and basically, Lucy tries hard not to as Lucy brings you into her arms, like she tries hard not to smile or laugh about it because this is the kind of thing that she feeds off of, but yet she's also wanting to be there for you as she's
Oh,
struggling with this.
oh,
Um,
yeah.
what? That's awful. I mean, there's still excitement in their voice, but they're also trying to be very, very compassionate. Um, what
I,
do you
it,
what do you want to do?
I, mm, what do I want to do? I think, um, I think I want to, think I want to turn on the music maybe a little, just, I don't know.
Let's yeah.
This is not a bad thing, right? For that, I think they all should have their emotions, even though they're parents, I guess. But
Here. Let's and then this is where you know, Lucy will snatch up like their plate of cake and hey, here,
hmm,
have some cake. You know, like
okay,
just have a few bites. Like just go
don't you
ahead and
like it?
wait. You made this. What do you mean you don't like it?
I, I, it's not. It tastes too much of butter, I think. And then now I'm struggling and despairing with my art, by the way. And this is not. It's nothing is perfect here.
It doesn't have.
Should have been perfect for once, just for a little bit. It should have been fucking perfect. And then Lycaenid, I think, will sit down and start crying.
And I think maybe from the other room, Saoirse will say, "It's a magnificent change in your life, Lycaenid. It'll be good for you, right?"
Yeah, I know, but still.
Odin is very offended that Lycaenid refused to talk to him about this, but then immediately went and just told Lucy the whole story. So Odin, who is extremely petulant and insensitive, will just start loudly telling everyone about a dinner he had recently with a married couple where he was having an affair with one of the two members of the couple. And it was the best meal that he's ever had because the infidelity just made the meat so sweet and tender. And he watches closely to see what effect, if any, this has on Lycaenid.
Hmm. Let me check my moves
And I ask
Oh no, just some
you.
unrelated couple.
here.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
I'm not
No.
Yeah,
finding
But I mean, like
there with.
that's baiting. That's like seriously baiting. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, it's
yeah.
amazing.
I think
Okay.
I would have had to spend some tokens to make it Lycaenid's parents.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
you could have been the floozy.
I
I
often
think
have,
Lysaid will ask you, was it my mom you had an affair with, or
I don't
oh,
think so.
you know my parents, Odin, come on.
I mean, even Lucy steps back and just kind of like puts a boot up and then just kind of like watches the show, like kind of watching the
Um,
ping pong match.
Yeah.
Should have brought popcorn. Popcorn was on the
Yeah,
list.
yeah. And then I think Lysaid will say, it's always about you, Odin, right? Everything is about you. I'm going to free one of your lobsters now. Flounces off.
you said free. I think you meant boil.
Gives you a finger and goes in, takes one of the lobsters and looks at it and says, okay, this is Timmy now. You're gonna be a free lobster.
Well, there's
Oh,
plenty more where he came from.
and then, like, Lucy calls after you, Lie, and goes, "Where are
Mhm.
you gonna free it? Outside? I mean, out in the
I'll figure
lake?
that. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Something needs to be free here.
How about?" And then I'm going to ask as I go to there's a piano here. I'm going to say that there's a grand piano here.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
start playing and I ask you, I'm spending 2 tokens and I ask you, how does my art force the truth to center?
Huh. Yeah, I think as soon as the music strike, you
Mm-hmm.
start playing,
Mm-hmm.
um, Lycaenid will stop what she's doing with the lobster, sigh a little, and say, "Well, I thought they had such a good thing going. I thought that can work with them. It could work for somebody else, maybe,
Like you?
like me or anyone. Yeah, but yeah, yeah." And I think that is when I also spend 2 tokens and use dance to express what cannot be expressed. And I think, oh no, create art from losing control. So I think they will just, there's music. They can dance now.
Yeah.
And they will just ignore all of you,
Mm.
except for the music, and just start dancing, probably without the lobster. Oh.
And I think Lucy will be inspired by your dance and then like sing about how that's not how it works,
Mm.
and like, say it's, like there is no example in love, and the emotion is possibly not love, it's obsession, or it's addiction to the feeling or the sight, but it is not true love that you see or feel. And just watch you, like, lose control and just watch you dance while she plays. How does Saoirse and Odin respond to this?
I mean, well, ever since Lycaenid declared that someone has got to be free in this house, I've been glowering in silence from the corner of the kitchen.
Mm.
Um,
Have cake, you'll feel better.
yeah, I'm comfort eating, I guess.
Remember, there's still alcohol in the paper cups and the flutes.
Not for much longer.
Odin, of course, is still mad at Lycaenid, but also, sees her dancing in this way, and he's been struggling so much with dance that incites the unthinkable. So he's gonna, hopefully without anyone noticing, try to follow Lycaenid's movements and dance in the same way.
Ooh, are you like a shadow? Like, are you like doing a mirror effect, like, um, uh, behind Lucy's playing? So this way you can't be seen? Is that what you're
Yeah,
doing?
maybe.
Oh,
Sure.
neat. Very neat. I imagine Lycenid's parents' place to be this huge mansion, so you guys can be like dancing in the hall like all over the goddamn place.
Yeah.
That's why they have a grand piano, because it's the only place
Mm.
that'll fit that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if Odin is doing this almost subconsciously. Like he doesn't realize that he is just mimicking someone else's beauty. I have an art move, create a new torture for someone else to embrace. And I think if I point
oh,
this out to Odin, it's does it almost become like something he cannot avoid seeing, and everything he does is just
Oh.
copying someone else, is just like not being something. himself just being like a mirror
Ooh,
for other
ooh,
people's
wow.
greatness.
Well, I think I'm going to add that sorrow to my crown, which will be another token.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Very cool.
and I don't know. So definitely like that's going to make Odin think that what he needs is for Lucy to hurt him some more because we established that like this is what he believes that he needs like pain to create real art and that
Hmm.
he's not getting it. So now he's thinking about how to um yeah, how to like get Lucy to hurt him. He doesn't want to, ask directly.
Oh no, no,
Um,
no. I think Lucy out of the corner of her eye like will see you doing the dance. And I think yeah, I think let me see. Oh, I think yeah, I think this is where like Lucy will actually do as she's playing like she'll fully train her gimlet eye on you and just kind of saying, you know, she's finished singing but she keeps playing and then she says it's like, "Is that all you've got? Just a mirror. Just an empty mirror of someone else. Is that you? Is that really you?"
oh, Lucy, my sister already. You're just treading in the path that my sister already laid out. I'm going to spend two tokens to make the art move, make a demand that cannot be denied, and I'm going to say, enough of this pettiness. Really hurt me. Show me what you can do.
Ooh, let's
Ooh.
see. Um, hmm. What? Okay, so I have to ask you a question first. What about my unforgiving habit that guarantees me success?
Well, you do get a token for me asking you to hurt me
Yep.
because that's your one.
Okay,
So
cool.
just
Right. Um, but I think, hmm, because I want to hurt you with my. Oh, no, I want to actually ask you how you feed yourself to my persona. And the unforgiving habit that guarantees my success is pretty much my. Let's see. Yeah, my drive to write my music. So, how do you feed yourself to my persona? Write my music, write my lyrics, write my songs. How do you feed yourself to that?
well, I guess there's just something about this moment that is inspiring some, an idea for a song about this person who thinks that, he's this great Lord God artist above everyone else, but who is crying out for uh for pain because that's the only kind of human connection that he understands.
Do you, I mean,
Uh,
like, am I singing about like, the ways that I can torture you, I can hurt you, I can, and like if it's too much, then like obviously like call me out, right? Like that I can needle it into you. I can, yeah, with my words, with my, I mean, you know, bondage or whatever whatever will incite Odin to like respond to this, like have him or have yeah, have them just come and crawl to this music. Like what?
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know if I have this quite right, but my understanding is that as we play, we're encouraged to sort of switch back and forth between like mundane and metaphorical
Mhm.
and mythic like versions of our characters and their dynamics.
Yeah.
And I think that in this moment, like I feel like I have this half memory of a story about Odin being tortured by Loki, who is a, kind of devil figure, by dripping horrific poison into his eyes that burns like endlessly. And I think that that's what's happening.
Yeah, they switch
Um,
off. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And maybe that's like, infused into the song. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Um,
I'm asking like Saoirse and Lycaenid, do you hear that? Like even as I'm singing to because I keep playing and I sing to Odin, do you two think that you hear that?
I think Lycaenid hears it. Yes. And will attempt to incorporate that into the dance that she's still doing. And I think that's the moment, but that's the moment because there's Odin and she can dance towards him, like taking on the role of this torturing demon. And I think at this point in time, she will change her gender because that's express or change my gender. Yes. So then change the gender to he, him.
Nice.
Yeah. That gives me a token.
Um, for Saoirse, I think I kind of notice, but I think I'm really only hearing the same kind of echoes that Odin hears, and yeah, maybe there's something like a guilty conscience. Maybe I'm fleeing that. Um, I don't know. Maybe I am. Yeah, maybe I'm trying to avoid the past, looking to the future, and maybe I'm reaching out to Lycaenid. Maybe it's on the dance floor. I don't know, or
Oh,
in the
cool.
dance hall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he will dance with you.
Yeah, I think if I can ignore, I can just stay in the moment and think about the immediate future. I'm less likely to think about Odin's poisoning by Loki.
I think as like, we're seeing that vision like kind of like flash and like, it gets more intense and more like closer to the present, I guess. I think this is where Lucy will also like express uh, gender and or excuse me, like we'll change gender and then to, like go into he him. Yep.
oh, well, I think that Odin feels that if we're all changing gender, then he's not going to be left out, and is had enough of this being tortured business. So he's just going to change part of his gender to Jules Too Bright to Look At.
Nice.
And it is suddenly wearing dazzling jewels, probably stolen, just dragged out of one of his coat pockets.
Yeah. I think in expressing that new gender as well. I think the the flickering candlelight hasn't changed. It actually has like flickered and changed a little bit more, and like like brightens up in the jewels and actually like stops uh, Lucy in his tracks and like will actually get him to stop playing because he's like dazzled for dazzled for a second. Oh, damn. Time for some alcohol. I'm parched. And what's in here? And then like this is where he starts opening up some of the pantry doors. Hey, popcorn.
Yeah.
And we'll start popping up some popcorn.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. And I think Lycaenid's hair has become wild and free now. They put the they try to make a bun or something, but he tried to make a bun or something, but now his hair is just like all over the place. They're a little like breathing heavy after this whole dancing thing that was like well, quite the thing. But yeah, having something else to drink is a great idea.
I think when the popcorn's like done popping, it's like this is where you know, Lucy will come over and like start pouring like just sloshing the rest of the alcohol into the paper cups slash flutes. And go, a toast. What shall we toast to?
Opposed to how love is fleeting.
I'll toast to that. Raise the flute.
Yeah.
If it was forever, we wouldn't be able to stand it, would we?
No. And
Odin in the corner with a lobster.
live or boiled?
Live, like a little cat sitting in his lap.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair. And if we want, we can close out there. Okay. All right. So, when the meal ends, we each choose one of those choices. Add one of the following to your look. Change your gender to one of the following. Choose or describe an art form that you can only create when you are starving and missing company. Or gain the lure. When someone feasts upon my art, fleeting or no, they gain a token. And you can put that new lure, if you pick that one, into your notes section and your playbook. Okay? So pick one of those things for when the meal ends. Yeah, actually, I'm going to pick changing one of my gender things into something hungry.
I will actually choose a new art form that I can only create when I'm starving and missing company, and that's the creation of a cake. Like,
Nice.
yeah.
I think I'll add a wink and a secret to my look.
Nice.
I've changed my gender to a cigarette after a meal.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Awesome. So, this is a good time for another break. Would you like? Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and do some stars and wishes since we're like a little bit out of time, ending a little bit early today. But that just means that since we completed all of our setup stuff, we're just gonna jump right in and complete the rest of the remaining moments. Okay. So, know how this works. Stars are things we enjoyed about the gameplay, roleplay each other, and wishes are what we'd like to see for next time. Okay, for this two-shot. Whomever wants to start. Yeah.
We can start. Stars all around for playing this odd game and for the evocative storytelling that we did with it, and for the engagement, and for being messy. And I struggle to imagine, as I said, I struggle to imagine how this would be played, but I have a better idea now, and it was nice. I really liked engaging with with Odin and Lucy mostly, and I think that would be a wish. I want to engage with Saoirse a little more next time. Yeah.
I would like to give a star to the pick lists. I thought they were all really great. I think Ray Najati is one of the great pick list writers in gaming.
Yeah.
They were all really fun. I love to bicker with other characters in games, so I get to have some excellent arguments, including one that involved magic poison being dripped into my eyeballs, so that was pretty great. And I got, to play with lobsters. I did enjoy the lobster business all round. Wishes. I definitely found Like after Odin blew up, I wanted some moments where he would like back down or show some contrition or something, and I couldn't really find in my moves how that was going to happen. So I think my wish for next time is to, for me to give some more thought to how to make that work mechanically and also just in who he is as a person.
So I think stars again all around for like thank you for joining me at the table and helping me play this game. It is a very again strange fable. It's not even a fairy tale. It's like very urban fantasy fable like game. Like it kind of moves like in and out of reality. I'll call it surreality if we're gonna call it something, right? Because again, I mean, I liked how you had that whole vision, Shane, of like we're in reality in modern times, but yet like you were having that vision of like being Odin and then being tortured by Loki, and I love that. I mean, like I loved how you introduced that because that was like very evocative, and then brought my character into that whole scene, and then like gave me the ability to change, and that was a very transformative moment. So I mean, I think that's all about it too, and that's one of the things that's really great about this particular game, including the pick list for sure, for definite sure. So again, the language is beautiful, and then the vibes are just terrific. Um, so yeah, like moments like that, I think just like moving in and out of that weirdness and magical and again the mundane as is said, and it's just like moving between those two is just like finding how the flow works, I think, between all of us. Um, and then like like seeing like Sabine, like your Lycaenid, like just having the very human moments of running away and like like being faced with things, and the very real emotion of like, oh, my parents had an affair, and they're just like just like shit for doing so, but then like also getting lost in the moment and the magic of your art. I mean, that was very beautiful. um and then like Saoirse, I mean, like your the moment where you were like trying to use your torture against your brother, I mean, and your sibling, I mean, like that was just that was awesome as well. But now, I mean, like my wish again, like Sabine's, is to also engage more with Saoirse and like Odin, and like really dig into like helping you guys find your either your focus and pain. Like what does that mean to you? Because I mean, I feel like that's kind of like what you're searching for in different ways with your characters. If I'm wrong, like just tell me, because I mean, like we can totally metagame this and then like like really dig into your moves. But I think you not only have to move within the moves, but also outside of it, because like there has to be that transition point that isn't necessarily mechanically controlled. I mean, and I realize that. I mean, like sometimes I when I think about belonging outside belonging games, I try to think of like call and response. Like you do a move, I respond with a move, and then back and forth and back and forth. But there has to be a transition point sometimes where we're not doing the move to move. It has to be a move, something in between, and then a move, right? Because it has to be a natural, organic thing that is real, because that's why we're role playing, right? So I think that's where like some real thought comes into play when we're playing our characters. So that's just a wish for myself for next time as well. Like to try to like make Lucy more more human, and then like more real. Yeah. And then yeah, I mean, like again, stars all around, because I mean, I think as we get used to our characters, I think it starts to become like really interesting to see how you interpret your gender, your art, your humanity. So that'll be great to see.
Oh.
Um, yeah, I mean, I think the general vibe of the game, at least for the shared meal, was like one of willful misunderstanding or maybe malicious understanding. We were very ready to hurt each other, um, one way or the other. Um, yeah, and some really nice moments that uh, in kind of the brainstorming of like, where are we having this party? What does that really mean? What has really happened? So I really enjoy those kind of completely um, unplanned, kind of unpredictable moments that really define the game. Um, and yeah, wishes, I guess. It was strange. I think like starting with a shared meal, like something so mundane, made it a little bit difficult to like jump into this character for me. But maybe it was good. It was like a chance for me to see like how bitter I can be. Um,
I'm supposed to be the bitter
uh,
one.
yeah. So really looking forward to these other kind of um, very different games next week. And yeah, I think if we can see Saoirse and Lycaenid together in some aspect of that, that would be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And oh, another wish, if everybody is cool with it, or if, even if they're not, even if you're not, I mean, like that's fine too. I mean, like if we're on board with it, I mean, like maybe I'm fine with doing this too. I mean, like if like I step away from being Lucy, and then like maybe we introduce a visitor, in like one of the moments. So this way, it's like you have more interaction of like enacting the prompts that engender a visitor to come into play to, like, I don't know, incite something or be like a catalyst for something or whatever. But I mean, like, that may also help, like, with you know more PC interaction, because I think like a couple of the different visitors has to do with, like, your ex. So it's like, if you want that to happen, we could totally make it happen. It's cool. So yeah, just offering that out there. All right. So if that's all, then you guys have a wonderful week. Happy gaming to you all, and then I will see you next time, and then we will go through the other moments of this game, and like indulge in all of the art and all of the magical mundanity or mundane magicalness of it. So yeah, you guys have a wonderful week. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
Thanks for
Bye.
facilitating that. That was
Sure.
fantastic.